Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you my updated MAC lipsticks collection. I filmed this video about a year ago now and you guys seem to really enjoy seeing it. I've also just done my Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks collection, so I felt like it was about time I did the updated version of this. For those of you who are new to my channel and may have not seen the previous MAC lipstick collection, I will leave that on screen and in the info box for you to go and have a watch of after this, and you can compare and see what I used to own, what I don't own anymore, etc. And in addition to the collection growing, there have been some changes in terms of things I've used up and given away, so there are definitely some differences there. But without rambling on too much, let's get into the video. So for starters, this is the Moody drawer that I keep my MAC lipsticks in. If you saw last year's one, you will know that the drawer has increased in size since last year. It used to be half the size of this and now I need a full large acrylic drawer to keep all of my MAC lipsticks in. I'm picking lipsticks out completely at random, and the first one that I picked out was MAC's Velvet Teddy, and this is a newer purchase from this year. I picked this up back in April, I think, and this is a gorgeous pinky brownie nude, my favourite kind of lipstick. It's much more on the darker side of pinky brownie nudes. It looks quite pink on camera right now. I'm going to do full close-up swatches of these for you guys. But in addition to being a little bit darker than most of my nudes, it's also a little bit more on the cool tone side as well. So I normally like to pair this with a kind of greigey, lilac, taupey eyeshadow, that kind of thing. I don't go too warm on the eyes if I wear this because I feel like it's a massive clash of tones, and I just prefer it that way. In terms of the finish, it's a matte, but it's very creamy, and I don't ever really feel like it is actually a matte lipstick. It feels way too creamy, and I find that although it is matte, it's not as long lasting as some matte lipsticks I own, but it's still a very pretty colour and I get a lot of wear out of this one. Next up is Hue, and it's a glaze lipstick formula, and it is even more used and even more battered than last year. Even though I've only worn it, I'd say a handful of times. Like, I could count the amount of times I've worn this in the past year on both my hands, but it's one of those lipsticks that I will always have in my collection. It's a very glossy pinky nude colour, and it's so light, a little bit too light for my skin tone, but quite often I wear this over more brown nude lipsticks just to give them a bit of life or a little bit of shine, and I really like the way that it looks when paired over other lipsticks, which is mainly how I wear this one at the moment. This is definitely the most used MAC lipstick I own. It's also one of the oldest, and I think it is one of the few that I will repurchase when it runs out because I just feel like it's such a staple in my collection. It's just very handy to have, even though I might not wear it daily. It's just one of those that I feel safe in having in my collection. Next is Morange, which is an amplified finish, and it's very creamy, not too glossy, but it's just very pigmented. I love the amplified finishes a lot. This one is a very bold reddy orangey colour. This was a more recent purchase this year, and it's actually become a bit of a staple in my collection. I don't wear it every single day, but it's one of those colours that I find really suits my skin tone. It looks really lovely with my general everyday makeup, and I just think that it's so beautiful. Also, in terms of wear time, this one is fairly long lasting, but obviously not the most long lasting because it is more of a creamy glossy finish than a matte finish, but it's so pigmented that it does take a while for the product to rub away. Next we have Yash, which I think has to be the winner this year in terms of the everyday MAC lipstick. I wear this so often. It's the perfect brownie nude for me. There's very little pink to this at all. In comparison to Velvet Teddy over here, Yash is far less pinky coloured. It's a matte finish, I believe. I was right, it is a matte finish, and because of that it is very long lasting. I just find that it's the perfect lipstick for me to wear when I don't want to be worrying about reapplying all the time. I use it so much, and I always find that I'm losing it and panicking, and it's always in one of my many handbags, but it just goes to show how much I use it. The next lipstick is one that is actually new and part of MAC's limited edition, I think it's bowling collection. I said Super Bowl in my last video, it was very embarrassing, and I really like the whole collection, and this is one of my favourite products from it. It's the shade Bowl Me Over, and it is a matte finish, and it's just the most beautiful dark purpley brown colour. I am really looking forward to getting some wear out of this in the autumn. I feel like it's one of those that needs a lip liner because it's so matte. It's the original MAC Ruby Woo style matte formula. So it's going to be super long lasting, but it's just a bit of a pain to get on, so it definitely needs a lip liner. Luckily I have one in this colour, so that is not a problem for me. This should still be available as well, I think, if you want to go pick it up. Speaking of the original matte formula from MAC, I have Ruby Woo here. This is one of the first MAC lipsticks that I ever owned, and for the sentimental reason alone, that is why I keep it. I don't really get too much wear out of this one. Oh my god, it's so hard to do a swatch of because it's just not the easiest to work with. I've always worn this one with a lip liner as well because it's a bit impossible to work with. It's like a traditional pillar box red. There's not really much else I can do to describe it other than that. It's a really gorgeous colour and I find that it does work well on most skin tones, but unfortunately I just don't really get the wear out of it because it's just one of those really fiddly ones, and if I'm going to wear a red, I generally wear a bit more of an orangey red at the moment. That's just my thing, that's just my preference, but for sentimental reasons I like to keep this one. Next up we have Dangerous, which is a retro matte finish. I feel like that is the same as the other two I've just shown. For me, Dangerous is a very orangey red. I think it has, for some reason sometimes I think it's a bit of pinky, but I think I get it confused with one of my other lipsticks. So it's very similar to Morange, but I find just slightly more red, and obviously in the retro matte formula, which does make it a pain in the ass to work with. Next we have another matte. I'm cracking out all the mattes at the moment. They seem to just be sitting next to each other in my drawer, which I did not plan. This is MAC's Tropic Tonic, which is the most beautiful creamy matte finish in the most gorgeous hot pink colour. I love this one so much. I'm pretty sure it's in their permanent collection and I'm very happy about that because I cannot be without this. This is the most beautiful colour. I really enjoy wearing it. It's a very orangey, peachy, bright pink, and I just think that it is absolutely beautiful. It's up there. If I had to do a top 5, I'm pretty sure this would be in it. Oh, I might do that at the end of this video, pick top 5. Yeah. If you've watched my videos for a long time, you will have heard me talk about this one plenty of times. I have a lot of love for it. I'm not going to go too much into it because I feel like I have just talked about it so much over the past year, but it is definitely one of my all-time favourite MAC lipsticks and I just want to smother it all over my face right now. Next up we have Mehr, which is another matte finish again. This is more of the creamy mattes, which I definitely prefer, and I really like this colour. I don't get as much wear out of it as I should, but it's one of those ones that I think is so beautiful, and it's a lovely autumnal, wintry kind of nudie colour. I feel like I would describe this as a nude berry shade. It's very toned down, very taupey, very pinky but still very nude. I feel like, as with Velvet Teddy, this suits very cool toned makeup looks and looks really nice with pink cheeks as well. I find that's always a really flattering way to wear this, and yeah, I think it lends itself really nicely to winter wear. So I haven't worn this so much recently, but I definitely get the wear out of it during the winter. Now we have MAC's Sin, which again is another matte lipstick. I feel like I just fall into that trap every single time. This one is another one of those very matte finishes. It's a gorgeous dark berry colour though. I really am doing a rubbish swatch of this right now. I'm really trying to save it. It's kind of merged into the one next to it. This is a really sad moment. So this is one that is such a beautiful colour and again lends itself more to wear during the autumn and winter time. But this is so gorgeous and I will 100% be cracking this out in the autumn because I love the colour of it so much. It is very similar to Bowl Me Over. Bowl Me Over comes up a lot darker on camera, and I think that is because it's such a matte finish, like it's the proper old school matte finish, that it just looks darker because it's not giving off a sheen, whereas Sin is a matte finish and it feels very matte to apply, but it still has a tiny bit more of a sheen when the light hits it than Bowl Me Over does, which I think actually makes Sin slightly more wearable in my opinion, and I think if you have dry lips then it would feel that much more comfortable on your lips as well. But again, beautiful colour, perfect for autumn and very long lasting. I love this one a lot. I don't think that will be going anywhere anytime soon. Next we have So Chaud, which is a matte orangey toned red. I picked it up for I think it was my Khloe Kardashian makeup look earlier this year, and I haven't got too much wear out of it since. But it is a really beautiful colour that I want to continue keeping in my collection because I feel like it's a really useful one, and I just feel like during the summer, if I want a red, or even over the Christmas period, it's just a really handy one to have in my collection. The texture of it is lovely and it's super long lasting as well, so I really like that one. Would highly recommend it if you like orangey toned reds. Next we have Cosmo, which is another amplified finish. I really like this one. It's very similar to Velvet Teddy, Yash, along those lines. It's a brownie nude colour and I like this one a lot. I picked this up in January. And this one is much more of a pinky colour than Velvet Teddy, and I just find that it's a lot more pigmented. It actually looks very similar to Mehr, which is on the other side of my hand, but weirdly I get so much more wear out of Cosmo. I think it's just because it's much more comfortable to wear on the lips, and yeah, I really like this one. I think it comes off a little bit more pink on the lips as well, whereas Mehr is a bit more of a taupey berry mid-toned colour. But this one I get a lot of wear out of and I've loved wearing this year. Next we have Amorous, which is a satin finish, and it's a much more darker version of Mehr. I tend to look at this one and think that if Mehr and Sin had a baby, this is what it would look like. I don't get so much wear out of this just because I feel like I either go for a mid-toned berry colour or a really dark toned one. I don't really tend to go for anything in the middle, but this is definitely one that I want to get a little bit more use out of over the winter months. Next we have Syrup, which is one of those taupey nudes. I feel like it sits nicely alongside Mehr and Cosmo. It's that kind of colour, and this is one that I actually got a lot of wear out of this time last year. I haven't been wearing it so much recently, but I go through phases where I absolutely love this one. This one is a luster finish, so it's very much more glossy than Mehr or Cosmo, and I find because of that you can't really tell the colour very well because the formula just tends to reflect the light and it looks super nude, and that isn't what it looks like. But hopefully you can see on camera if I bend my hand a little bit, that is the colour that it actually looks like. It's just a beautiful taupey nudie colour. The second to last lipstick I have is MAC's Lady Danger, and this is one that so many of you for the past couple of years have been saying in the comments, Susie, you need this, you need to get this, and this year I finally picked this one up and I love it. It's so bright and beautiful. Honestly, it's one of the brightest reds I own. I've swatched it here and it just is so much more bold and the colour is so much more rich than any of the other reds in the collection. Even though it's a matte finish, it just is so much more vibrant and I love that. I think it's so beautiful. It's a really gorgeous orange toned red, but it's not too orange. It still is very much a red and I think it's gorgeous. I don't get enough wear out of it at the moment. I just haven't been in a red lipstick phase recently, but the reason that I love doing my MAC lipstick collection videos so much is that it really brings me out of my makeup ruts that I tend to get into. I'm in such a makeup rut at the moment. I just love the neutrals, but I feel like after this video I'm so going to want to wear all of these every single day. I feel like I could turn this into some sort of Snapchat challenge and do a different MAC lipstick every day. So tempting. But anyway, this is a gorgeous MAC lipstick and one of those ones that I feel like is a lovely staple to have in your lipstick collection. And finally we have an old school shade. This is MAC's Cream Cup. This is one of the oldest MAC lipsticks that I own. I'm running out of space to swatch this, so I'm gonna have to do it on the side of my hand. But this is a gorgeous pinky nude colour. This is one that I always go back to again and again if I'm like, what should I wear? I feel like having something pink. But it's a really beautiful cream sheen formula, so it's so comfortable, it's very glossy, and if I'm not in the mood for a matte lipstick, I always opt for this because it's such a gorgeous nude colour. So that is the collection, and if I had to throw them all away and only keep 5, these here are the 5 that I've kept. So the first one is Tropic Tonic for obvious reasons. I love this. This is my favourite colour for summer. Then we have Yash for obvious reasons. Then we have Sin, which is just one of those ones that I would always want the option to have a dark colour, and I love wearing dark lips in the autumn and winter time, so I would always have to have this in my collection. And then we have Morange because I just love an orange and this one makes me really happy and it's just really comfortable to wear as well. And finally we have Dangerous, and for me I was really weighing up whether to pick Lady Danger for this or Dangerous, and although Lady Danger is a great staple for my collection and it's one of those ones that I feel like everyone should own, I feel like this is the one that I just gravitate to that little bit more because it has just a slightly pinkier tone and I just feel like it is so gorgeous that I could never ever part with this one. I don't know why, I feel like it's just a very unique reddy, pinky, orangey colour and I really like it. And I am a bit of a sucker for the matte finishes, even though they are that little bit harder to apply. I just feel like I would take the risk if I had to get rid of all of them, and I would go for this one even though Lady Danger is such a good staple. I like taking a risk and I feel like I would be perfectly happy having this one in my collection. That is my top 5. You may have noticed that there are a few that are missing. So I had Kind of Sexy, that one went to a friend. I used up, I think it might have been Shy Girl, that or Shy Girl got given away. Or I think I used up Patisserie, and Shy Girl went to a friend because it was just way too peachy, warm toned for me in terms of a nude. It just didn't work on my skin tone. I think that is it for the ones that aren't in this collection. There's probably a ton that I've forgotten about, So yeah, definitely go and give last year's a watch because that will kind of update you. Anyway, that is it from me today. I really hope you guys loved this video and enjoyed having a look through my updated MAC lipsticks collection. Also, whilst I'm still rambling on, I thought I would just let you guys know, because there have been a lot of you that have said, I really miss your vlogs. When are you vlogging next? I'm going to Festival next weekend, so I will be vlogging then. And then there are lots more vlogs to follow. I'm not saying too much yet, but there will be vlogs. But that is it from me today. I hope you're all having the best day, and I will see you guys in my next video.